Hi guys, it's Kelly here, and I am back with a new video. Today is something kind of fun and new. This is new from Tonic Studios. This is part of their Stamp Club, which is a new launch for them. So basically with Stamp Club, this is the Party Animals bundle. You get them together, and then this is the, I think it's called Stripes and Banners, or Strips and Banners, and which is an add-on. So with this Stamp Club, it's not subscription based, but it is limited supply. So once it's gone, it's gone. But you get 39 stamps and 22 dies. They coordinate, and then in this particular set, there is like a cloud die that you can use to either make your own stencil or use as a die cut, and then a grass die. I'm going to use the grass today, but not the clouds. And then you get all of that for $34.99, which is a stellar deal. And then for the stripes and banners, or strips and banners, I can't remember, I'm not sure, and I've already put it away, I'm not going to lie to you. That one is an add-on that you can get that is $14.99 that has a ton of really great dies that are banners and sentiment strips and things like that. So they launched this last month, and I actually do have last month's set, and I have done a card with it. I just have not edited the video yet. So that will be coming if you did happen to purchase that one, or you do in the future. I think it's still available. So I have some inspiration for that one as well. That one was like a floral corsage. It was really pretty too. But anyway, so when I saw the stamp set, all I kept thinking was like, all these balloons, all these balloons. And so that's what I did. I did all these balloons. But I'm also super lazy, and I didn't want to have to cut 400 balloon masks in order to create a little scene. So I'm gonna kind of cheat around it. So here I've just cut 4 masks, and then I'm going to use those to kind of stamp and mask in sections so I can get as many balloons as I want without having to, you know, like I said, mask all of them at the same time. Here I have to use my little pokey tool from Tonic because I have on dark nail polish, and I've had it happen to me before where I have tried to pick up something off my paper and my nail polish scrapes against it, and then particularly the dark red colors or dark purple colors will leave a line of nail polish. And since the background for this is pretty light, I didn't want to risk it. So I'm going to go through and just stamp all of these. And then I wanted to use the little grass die. I thought it was adorable. And so I knew that that meant my little balloon release here was going to have to be an outdoor thing, which in real life don't do. It's littering. The balloons are dangerous to the environment and to wildlife. But in a card form, it's totally fine. Do as many balloon releases as you want because I think they're adorable. So now all of my stamping is done for the balloons. And then I'm going to go in, since I wanted there to be a sky, but I didn't want to have to mask every single one of those balloons. I am just going to go in and I'm going to outline my balloons with a color that's pretty close to Salty Ocean, because that's going to be my sky color. Do pay attention to where your balloons end. You're going to see here in a second that I just was tracing the side of one balloon and just kept right on going into an actual balloon and not the bottom border. It ended up being fine because of the way that I did the card with the banner. You couldn't even see it. But if I had been able to see it, here's how I would have fixed it. I would have made that balloon a darker blue color. So if you are trying to recreate this or something similar and you have something like that happen, you can certainly use your zero marker to try to remove it, especially if you're using a lighter color. If you're using like a medium color like I am here, you can try to remove it, but also you can just go over it with a darker color and it'll be fine. So now I went over it with my darkest blue close to the balloon, and then I'm going to start kind of feathering out with my next lightest color, which is a B02, and I'm just going to follow the whole thing right around the edge and then go over it with this B00. Now once I did the B00, it was still not blending out as light as I wanted it, and so I forgot to show you, but I did use a B quadruple zero, so B0000, you know what I'm saying, you know what quadruple is, we're on the same page. And so right now it doesn't look super great, but I'm going to show you later on how I extend that sky all the way down without having to do any masking. So here is the stamping we did previously with this little baby elephant. How cute is this? I mean, do you think that there's anybody who doesn't think the baby elephants are just adorable? If you are, identify yourself. I need you to explain to me how baby elephants are not adorable, because I don't understand. So here, just going to color him up medium to light gray color. And as far as the shading is concerned, his ear behind his head will have some shading. I shaded up from the bottom of his trunk and his face, so that the highlight would be actually on his top left. And then I shaded everything else like that as well. So there would be shading where his little legs meet in front of him, shading where his chubby little thigh comes up over his body, shading where his ears are hanging over. So those are all, like we've talked about before, anytime one point meets another, and anytime one object lays on top of another, that's a natural shadow. So even if you're a beginner and you're just starting, those are places you can always put the shadows until you learn and get more comfortable with where you would like to freehand the shadows or coloring with a light source or anything like that. So the C5, I really only added just a minimal amount of. I didn't add a ton of it. Mostly the entire elephant is a C3. So there is a blog hop associated with this particular release for party animals that's put on by Tonic, and they are generously giving away a $100 gift card to one lucky commenter. So I will link to my blog below so that you can go over and join, and just make sure you leave some love for your chance to win. I will also leave you the link below for these items, so that if you're interested in getting them, it'll take you right to it. They are affiliate links. We never really talked about affiliate links, but since we talked about YouTube in the last video, like the views and stuff, we'll talk about this now. So I never, in my videos, I have never ever been like and subscribe, because I assume that if you like the content that you're watching and you would like to see it again, you will subscribe to that, right? I would think so. So I don't feel the need to nag you or remind you or beg you or any of those things. If you like it, then you click subscribe. If you really like it, you click notifications. If you don't, you don't, because I know I'm not everybody's cup of tea, and I'm cool with that. So, in the talking about yesterday, the YouTube algorithms, and that seems to be the issue for why the views are down, that a lot of people are not getting notifications, and a lot of people are, they're not receiving, YouTube isn't sending out the emails anymore when somebody you're subscribed to posts a new video, which seems to be an issue for a lot of people, and that is why they believe that my views are down, which may very well be the case. And, you know, YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, they change their algorithms all the time, and we're all just kind of stuck with what we're stuck with. Side note, back to the card. So here I showed you an RVO2. Somehow, and I don't know how this happened, because I'm usually pretty good about capping my markers, so I'm thinking one little peanut maybe got into the markers, but somehow my RVO2 dried up, like it's dry. So I'm going to try to re-ink it to see if I can save the tip. If not, I'm going to have to buy a new nib. But nonetheless, because it was completely dried up, I had to switch to a marker, and the one that I grabbed was an R20. So that is what I ended up using, which was actually kind of fun. It made it like a strawberry shortcake color versus a bright pink, which I'm really kind of digging. So happy accident, I guess. Also, excuse my allergies. We are what we are, people. That's what we are. So anyway, so I guess these algorithms have changed. So even though I have never before been like and subscribe, I'm not even going to tell you to do that. If you want to subscribe, you will. What I am going to tell you is if you want to see the videos, that for right now, you're probably going to have to search for my channel. I know me personally, on my YouTube, like when I'm watching YouTube, there have been people who I really like their content, and then I subscribe to their channel. But when I open up my phone, which is where I watch the majority of YouTube, when I open up my phone, the first thing it goes to is my home page, which is not my subscriptions page. My homepage is the stuff that YouTube wants to push on me, like, hey, you might be interested in, or hey, this is trending. It's not the stuff that I actually said, hey, YouTube, I want to see this. So I have to click to the subscriptions page, and then I have to scroll around to try to find the people that I want to watch, which may be the case with you as well. If there's something I'm looking for specifically, I will utilize the search bar. I almost never go to my subscriptions tab. I usually go to the search bar and just type in the channel that I'm looking for. So if you don't want to miss any of the videos, that would be my recommendation to you, is to specifically seek them out. Back to the card. So this orange color, I think I was thinking of Y38, gonna be honest. And I grabbed an R, or a YR15, and it was almost the same exact color as a YR04. Why can't I talk? And so I did end up going back in with just the Y08, which is the darkest color for my yellow balloon, and using that. I really think I was thinking of the YR38, which is the honey color, and I just grabbed the wrong one. So it was what it was. No, I mean, I caught it right away, so it's not a huge deal. But yeah, so if you don't want to miss any of the videos, you're probably gonna have to search them out until YouTube changes their algorithm again, or I'm at a point in my life where I'm producing consistent content where it's going to be showing up every day. I'll probably never do videos every day. I mean, who are we kidding? I don't have time to do that. But more consistently than I am now. Right now it's either feast or famine. Like, either I have time to do them and then you get like 3 or 4 videos in a week, or I don't have any time to do them and there's like a 3-week long gap. I don't think I've ever gone like an entire month without posting, but I'm not saying that's not possible. That's a thing in my life. So here I'm just going to add the white highlights to the balloons with my white gel pen. I also added a couple of highlights to the cake, and then some polka dots to his little party hat, and then I'm just going to outline them like I usually do. There was a young lady who asked me about these pens in the last video. These are discontinued. The EK Success journaling pens are discontinued. I think it's a huge bummer, but it's a decision that they made. You cannot get them like in the stores. Sometimes you can find them online or like on eBay. But what I was using before I used the EK Success journaling pens was microns, which are super comparable, or Copic multi-liners are also something that's comparable. They're a little bit more expensive, but they are also refillable. Okay, back to the card. Here's this little grass border, which is totally cute. Now, I looked through my Tonic paper. I thought I had a yellow-green, and I did not. What I had was spearmint. And I'm like, okay, it's fine. Like, this is not going to match my situation, but I'm going to make it match because that's how I roll. Here's my little trick to get around masking all of the things. I'm going to put a very, very, very small amount of Salty Ocean on this ink blending tool, and then I'm going to stretch that color out. It blends in almost perfectly, and then I'm going to use that same very small amount, almost just like tinting the balloons, right over top of them to kind of knock them back into the background, because I didn't want them to kind of like steal the show. I wanted them to be background pieces, since the ones that I'm going to be die cutting are the ones that I want up front and center. Here I'm using Twisted Citron, and you can see how well this changes this color, this cardstock color. I'll show you the back and then the front again, and you can see it's a much more yellow-green, which is what I was going for. Any kind of inks, I typically use Distress inks, but it's because that's what I have the most of. And ink blending you can use to change the pigment of your cardstock if you don't have the perfect match, or you can use white cardstock and you do ink blending on it and make your own perfect match. For the ones in the background, I'm just going to fill these in. Like I said, not the star of the show. These are like your background singers or your background dancers. Like, you need them to make the show, but they aren't the star. They're not the Cher. They're not the Beyonce. You know what I'm saying? Here I started using the original blue that I used for the background. It was way too close of a match, so I switched over to a B24. It's still a complementary color and goes with the flow of what we're doing, but doesn't completely blend into the sky. So now once all of these are colored, I am going to do the transparency technique just because I think it adds a little something. So in doing that, you just want to follow the shape of whatever color balloon you are doing. So like the green, and then follow that shape right into the balloon that's next to it. And you can really see it on the pink and yellow, how that gives that look of transparency. And it's something that's so simple to do. I will tell you that sometimes with the yellow, you have to go back over it just to knock back the other color because it will really overtake that yellow. This orange is a perfect example of that. So I went over the orange, it was a little bit too strong, and then I'm going to go back over it with the yellow and just kind of soften it up. It's obviously still there and you can still see it. I'll do the same thing with this blue and the yellow, just to make it the yellow be the color that's on top as if we were looking through it. Gonna glue down my grasses. I normally have been really digging my honeybee glue, but when Nathan and I were building our haunted house, I took it downstairs, and now I think it's with the haunted house supplies, and I need to go find it. But nonetheless, I'm back to my tried and true Mono Tumble multi glue. You know I love this glue. It's my ride or die, honestly. Like I go out with other people, but when I really need something that's gonna work for me, it's the Tombow Mono multi glue. So here I'm stamping my sentiment. This is super cute. There's a bunch of them that are really adorable. My favorite one, ironically, is I forgot your birthday because that's the most accurate for me because I never mail anything out. We've been over this. But my sentiment says happy birthday party animal. I thought that was super cute with the little elephant. And then I'm going to just take my C3 and just kind of outline the edge. Since this banner is white on white, I wanted something that was going to set the middle part, like set it apart from the background of this white one, but not something that was going to be like too much in your face. I didn't want a solid color. I didn't want anything that was going to compete with the sentiment. And you can tell with my sentiment, it is slightly off center. I have more room on the left than I do on the right, but that is because I'm going to have more balloons on the left than I do on the right. I stamped and die cut 5 balloons. And so one side will have 2 and one side will have 3. Now, the putting together of things. I have no idea why. Like maybe it's because I don't do die cuts. Maybe it's because my brain works in it's 1-layer cards. I'm not really sure why I could not make this happen, but you're about to watch this ride on the big old struggle bus of me trying to put this card together. So first things first, I should not have put my elephant down yet. Okay, let's just talk about that. I have no business putting this elephant down because I have to tuck my balloon strings behind the elephant. But here I am firmly putting it into place so that I will have to rip it back up in order to get the balloon strings behind it. I'm sure you've done this before. We all have. I would appreciate your condolences. Okay, so now here's where I realize the green string has to go behind it. And I'm worried about my nail polish again. So I get my little, this time I think I used the X-Acto knife. And now I'm just going to kind of pull that up. I pull out my little hat. I'm going to glue this one flat behind the banner, and this is why it was so complicated for me, because if I was just putting them all on top of the banner, then it probably would have been really simple. I could have just glued the banner down and added my balloons on top. Now here's where I realized my orange one, I don't have enough of the elephant up for my orange string to tuck behind it. And I obviously don't want my string hanging in my elephant's face. He is, in fact, the star of the show. So I'm going to glue this orange one, but I can't glue down the banner yet because I got to get the blue one behind it on the other side. So, I mean, really, this is just, I'm tacking down the edge of the orange one and then trying to get my banner in place. I put my glue on the blue one, and then I proceed to try to pick up this orange balloon like 16 times. That's an exaggeration, but it was getting a little bit frustrating because I could not get the balloon to stay up. It kept like snapping back down. So when I finally do get it up, get my banner down, and get it into the proper place, I only tacked down the right-hand side so that I could still lift up the left-hand side and tuck my blue balloon back behind there. Then for my yellow one, I put my glue on it, but there was not enough of the foam adhesive under the banner to hold the whole balloon up. So I just tucked a little tiny piece right behind it. It doesn't really matter if it's sticky or not, really, it's just to make it level. And then the last one will be the pink. So, we're just about finished with this. After this, we're just going to put some glitters on it and be done with it. I think it's super cute. It's a little different for me because it's a layer card. Don't worry, later on we're going to have another little different for me card, possibly tomorrow. So there's that. I am going to glitter the balloons and then the hat and the cake, because who doesn't want a glittery birthday cake? I know I do. And then that's it. That's the whole card. So I will leave that link for you if you'd like to go participate in the blog hop. And then that's it. So thank you guys so much for joining me. I'll catch you on the next video.